The British National Sound Preservation and Archival Society are proud to present a remastered instalment of the classic 1950s classic serial, Upright, the remarkable story of a Victorian gentleman. Based on the novel by Gravelly Stokes and adapted to a standard sufficient to avoid copyright infringement by Valmere Lake. Episode 5, Wild Horses. There can be few more depressing things than to be chained night and day to the oars of a pirate vessel, sailing back and forth between the West Indies and Hopchester Cove, squashed together with fellow prisoners who smell of sweat and treacle. Fortunately, I'm not. I discovered on my second night that my manacle is faulty, and a slight twist to the left means I can slip my bonds. After a few nights of this, it occurred to me that as my fellow captives are in exhausted sleep, and the pirate crew are, as always, lying prone in rum-induced unconsciousness, I could steal above and take advantage of the sweet sea air. After a while my head cleared, and I could see by the light of the moon that the ship was but a short swim from a nearby shore. Time was getting on. Glancing round quickly, I hurried along deck and back to my place on the oars bench before I could be missed, and secured my manacle. Every night, I vowed, I shall go up aloft where the air is clear, and try to fathom some means of escape, so tantalizingly a short, unobserved swim away. After 3 more nights of this, I realized that, if I were able to swim, I might have swum that short swim and sought help from a local dweller on the shore. On the 6th night, I remembered I can swim. I learnt in the Serpentine, quite by accident and necessity, when a vagabond asked me who I was looking at with my stupid face, and I replied, him. I resolved to go the very next night. Then my plans were placed in jeopardy, for Mr. Barnacle had seen me.
"Oi, you! What are you doing up here?"
Either I had tarried too long, or the rum had run out.
"Nothing. You get back down below, before I go all the way back to my cabin and get my cutlass and come all the way back up here and make you."
I was about to comply, when my footing slipped and I toppled into the water. I could not scramble back to the ship. The current bore me ruthlessly away. I swam as though my life depended on it, which in every sense it did. From the ever more distant ship I heard the shots of a musket. But they were too late, for I was ashore.
"Hello! I'm over here! Help!"
Around the time of my capture, the maiden, whose name I never remember to ask, was taken to Netherwood Park, thinking her beloved Arthur Whippet, a man I consider to be an undeserving fool, to be there.
"My lord, a visitor for you."
"Well, well, we have met before, my pretty one."
"Indeed, my lord, I have served you faithfully these many years."
"Not you," sneeringly. "I mean this maiden."
"Ah."
"Yes, you are the villain who tried to sell my Arthur into slavery. Where is he?"
"Put him from your mind, my dear. He will be drowned in the bogs of Netherwood Marsh long ago."
"No, no."
"Whereas we shall enjoy a little entertainment."
"I shall not entertain you. I shall search the bogs, and if the only way to be reunited with my Arthur is to sink to my own death, so be it."
"I was thinking more of juggling oranges. Have you ever juggled oranges?"
"No."
"It is most entertaining, and a particular skill of mine. Bring the oranges," sneeringly. "Yes, my lord." "I will make a little wager with you, my dear. Should I drop one of my oranges, you may go free."
"How many oranges are we talking about?"
3.
4.
3.5.
4 3/4.
"I'm sorry, my lord. It appears all the oranges have been destroyed."
"Destroyed?
"Why?
Apparently Mrs. Jiggles was making orange squash and misunderstood the instructions. No matter. Bring me the cup and dice. Yes, my lord. Cup and dice? We shall make another wager. I shall roll a number. You shall roll a number. If your number is lower than mine, you may leave. If my number is higher than yours, you shall stay and do whatever I ask. That sounds reasonable. What if we roll the same number? Then we try again. How can I trust you? The weighted dice, my lord? Of course. My dear, I give you my word as a dubious. Very well, but make sure you give it a good shake. It seemed as though this beach was miles from anywhere. There was nothing for it but to make my solitary way across it and hope to come upon some signs of life. Quickly, quickly, climb onto my horses. We must hurry, hurry. It was Mr. Rosy-Nose and his imaginary coach and four. How did you come here? The horses bolted, and then they smelt the rum. They like rum. Have you any rum? No. Oh, my horses are restless now, restless. They want their rum. Easy, easy. I concluded that even imaginary horses are better than no horses at all, so I leapt upon his back. I shall buy them rum at the nearest inn. Hurry up! Nearest inn? Yes, yes, my beauties. Away, away! Mr. Rosy-Nose made very slow progress. After 1 hour's hard riding, we had moved no more than 1/4 of a mile. I could hear noises behind me, and wondered if the pirates had rowed from their ship and were hunting me down. Giddy up, Mr. Rosy-Nose, giddy up! Our enemies shall be upon us. Horses tired now, sleepy. Remember the rum. Rum. And we were off. Mr. Rosy-Nose cleared 3 hedges and a hay-cart before falling on his face in exhaustion. Look, I cried, pointing to the cheery lights of an inn but a few yards away. Up, my beauties, onward. We are nearly there, nearly there. 30 minutes later, I had fallen gratefully into a chair with a glass of water, which is a silly place to put a glass of water, for I got very wet, while Mr. Rosy-Nose drank deeply from a bucket of rum. He then began rubbing himself down with an old newspaper until the landlord made him go outside. Tether me, in case the horses run off. I did so, and he went to sleep, standing up. I had to find out where I was and how to get back to London. I would confront Mr. Cheerichops and demand to know what he thinks he is playing at, sending young gentlemen after young gentlemen after young gentlemen to Nethercote Hall, for them to be press-ganged into joining a pirate ship. And did he not realise that his partner, Mr. Slapface, has not been sitting in his private office working on an important legal matter continually for the past 8 years? I think not. 6. 6. Damn! Again. 6. 6. Damn it! Again. 6. 6. Damn it! 6. 6. What is wrong with my weighted dice? I've just answered my own question. Maybe a game of Hunt the Slipper, my lord? No. Enough of games. I shall take my pleasure now. Get out. Yes, girl, wait in the kitchen. I was talking to her. Ah. I shall wait in the kitchens, my lord. No, you shall go to the study and write to Cheerichops. Invite him here to stay. I do not trust him. He sends us a boy who escapes and another who is an idiot, or pretends to be. I shall have the matter out, face to face. Yes, my lord. Meanwhile, girl, she's gone. She keeps doing that.
Find her. She knows too much.
We're up to our eyes in pith. Yes, Mrs. Jiggles. I never did like oranges. Nasty foreign fruit. You can't beat a good pear. Mop it all up, Mary. Yes, Mrs. Jiggles.
Orders to prepare the guest wing. Mary, see to it at once. A guest is expected to arrive Friday night, Mrs. Jiggles.
But I'm mopping up the oranges, Mr. Brassfeet.
Never mind that, girl. It will all be here when you get back.
Yes, Mr. Brassfeet. We should have more servants. I always said so.
The impudence of the girl.
She's got too much time on her hands, Mr. Brassfeet. That's the trouble. Who's this visitor, then? His lordship never entertains.
It is Mr. Cherry Chops.
The Cherry Chops who sends all those young men here?
The same.
Mr. Cherry Chops of Cherry Chops and Slapface Solicitors of Law?
Yes, the very one.
Oh, do you mean the Mr. Cherry Chops?
Yes, Mrs. Jiggles, yes. How many Cherry Chopses do you know?
Oh, only the one, sir. Oh, as if I'd know another, sir. Oh, very idea, sir. More than one. Oh, no, sir. Oh, I only know the one Cherry Chop. Oh, I'm all of a jiggle, sir. Oh, all of a jiggle.
Oh. I must get on. There's much to be done.
But why is he coming here? Can it be that after all these years he has discovered my secret? Secret?
The following morning I was about to leave the inn when I went outside to find that Mr. Rosy-Nose had joined a troupe of travelling players and become a performing horse.
Is he yours, sir?
Well, not exactly mine.
We do a wild horses act, you see, sir. Oh, he fits in a treat, he does. Oh, look at him go. How much do you want for him?
Well, as I say, he's not actually my horse. In fact, he's not actually a horse at all.
This is a travelling show, sir. Magic, mystery, a little make-believe.
Look, if you want him, you can have him. I must get back to London as soon as possible.
Well, we're on our way to London, sir. That's where this travelling show is bound. Why don't you join us? Though you'll have to work your passage.
What would I have to do? Look after the horses?
No, sir, no. We've got people to look after the horses, sir. They're called the people who look after the horses. Now, what we're really short of, sir, is what we in the travelling show trade call a clown.
A clown? You mean a buffoon, a simpleton, a performing jester?
Yes, that's right, sir. Now, don't you tell me you haven't done that sort of work before.
No, I do not believe so.
You've got the face for it, sir, if I might say so. Oh, it's a fine life, a clown's life, sir. You haven't lived till you've had a bucket of water poured over you, sir. You must have had a pie pushed into your face before, sir.
Oh, yes, I have had a pie pushed into my face before. And at that very moment Mr. Ringer, the ringmaster, who is the gentleman I was talking to, pushed a custard pie into my face. And somebody else poured a bucket of water over me, which was useful as it washed away the pie. They all thought this very funny.
Oh, he was born to it, sir. I knew he was born to it.
Well, as I must get to London, and I have no other means of getting there but on foot, I suppose I must agree. How long is it before we reach London?
Oh, about 2.5 years, sir.
2.5 years? You said we were going straight there.
We are going straight there, sir. Oh, yes, sir, straight there, sir. But we have many places to stop off upon the way. That's for travelling show business for you, sir. Put him in the tent with the other clowns.
It seemed to me that I had exchanged my life of a press-ganged pirate for that of a press-ganged clown. Would I ever see London again? Would I ever be able to bring the odious Lord Dubious to justice? And most importantly of all, would I ever see the maiden, whose name I still do not know? I feel sure that if I do, and if she will accept that the ludicrously named Arthur Whippet must be dead, I can win her heart. Maybe I can find his body in the marshes and take it to her. At that moment, one of my fellow clowns, with a big yellow face and wide red smile, and a flower which squirted water. Sorry, I can't seem to stop it. Don't mention it, sir. Sorry. I, too, am bound for London, under the cover of this travelling show. He is a gentleman, and so I introduced myself. I am Upright. A pleasure, sir. Whippet.
What?
Whippet. Arthur Whippet. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Sorry. You have been listening to Wild Horses, being episode 5 of Upright, the remarkable story of a Victorian gentleman, adapted by Valmere Lake from the novel by Gravelly Stoats. Next week, episode 6, Mrs. Jiggles' Secret Secret.